Hey guys, just a really quick video, honestly, something I'm just kind of curious about. Not just necessarily trying to figure out exactly what happened to House of Jigsaw or, all that stuff. It's way in the past, and there's a lot of drama basically built up around all that stuff and everything. But I'm just kind of curious about anyone who's watching these videos and, anyone who was just definitely just around at the time when House of Jigsaw was like basically at its peak, back when it would always build up around, every single year where the movie was coming out. But there was a handful of people, myself included, who were always on that stuff. It was so awesome just to kind of get into, like the YouTube before YouTube became really big and intricate, where people kind of shared their ideas on videos and the comment sections really became forum type of conversations and stuff before that became really big. And that was basically one of the best ways to actually get your opinions out there, back when the forum days were really big. Anyway, I was just wondering, like, guys, do y'all remember this? Like, do y'all remember how awesome House of Jigsaw was? And like, I'll share a little bit of mine, but it's a really quick video. I want y'all to tell me in the comment section below. Go down in the comment section below and tell me your best story you remember from the community, before it got taken down for, for all the drama that was happening around those days and everything. And, there's a lot of different people pointing fingers and everything. But anyway, honestly, if you look at me, like, the one thing I like doing is I like going on there and I like sharing theories. I mean, especially after a new film dropped and there was just so much to talk about, because y'all remember how the films were and how the films really are. They don't necessarily answer every question, but the way that they were set up with every year coming out a new film every year, you had like, are they going to continue this storyline? What was the meaning of that? Why was this inconsistent with that? And we would get on, we would share all of our opinions one way or the other. And then I know the main thing there was like a lot of people, oh, Dr. Gordon's still alive, and I was one of the people, and I'm sure a lot of you were too. It was like, yeah, that makes sense, and it was probably gonna be true, because I'm not necessarily sure they're actually giving us, they're not necessarily building this up to be something huge, or they don't necessarily know one way or the other, but they probably do, or they probably don't. I mean, whoever knew? We were younger back then, right? We thought, like, because they told us they had an ending in mind, they actually had an ending in mind. That was back when, Saul was doing that, Lost was doing that, and everything. It was the big thing to say that they had the ending in mind, but they just kind of kept stretching it out and out. And before we knew it, we got something like Saw 3D, which is basically a clusterfuck of, we have to mush two films together. Plus, we don't have enough time. We didn't think we had as much time as we wanted to, but you got the idea that it wasn't necessarily leading into anything after all, and it wasn't just Saw 3D's fault. So anyway, I really like going up on there and just sharing theories about everything, or just like the breakdowns of all the characters. I remember getting on House of Jigsaw one time, and we were like breaking down like all the characters, like why Amanda was the best character, what was John's philosophy, and all this stuff. And even some of us got together and we were writing. I don't know if y'all guys remember this. I mean, if you do, if you were around back then, a lot of people weren't probably, but if you're around back then, what are your thoughts on, like a lot of people got together and wanted to create like, fan scripts for Saw 3D, or even Saw 6 or Saw 5, back when people were, I guess, not happy with what we were getting as the films went on in later years, and they thought that they could do better. And a lot of people put up really cool ideas, really cool scripts. I don't remember ever seeing anyone actually finish anything. I'm sure there's a lot of fan concepts and scripts and stories and chapters and stuff that people actually did finish out there, but I never really looked into that one way or the other. My favorite thing, though, and I'll just end this really quick, but my favorite thing there that I ever did was a couple of us got together and we were writing, never finished it, unfortunately, but we were writing a kind of a fan group session of a Saw parody film called Sawed or Scene or something. I think there was some debate on what it would be called or something, but each of us would write like a scene or something. And oh my god, it was so funny, guys. Like, I can't even really remember what it was all about. If I still had those files, if I still had those scripts that we had been writing, if I still had the scripts that we had been writing, I would have posted them, at least for one way or another, that y'all could actually see. I took it upon myself to write about half a script for Saw 7 before Saw 7 actually did come out, I think. Maybe it was a little bit after kind of reeling for how Saw 3D actually was versus what I wanted. And I actually wrote half a script which dealt with a lot more kind of connected situations, basically. And I really can't remember what it was about, honestly. I want to say it was dealing with politics and John's relationship with like one more person that ended up being connected to both Hoffman and Amanda as well. Kind of getting to hear, having Hoffman basically, I guess, for some reason, having Hoffman and his connection with Seth come back to bite him in the ass, and having some kind of situation where that tied itself together and kind of put more of a big meaning on the bathroom and everything. I really wish I had that stuff. I'd probably just share it as fan fiction at this point, because I think a lot of people would really be interested in that. I know a lot of people back then were interested in seeing what I had to say, but at the same time, I can't remember, man. It's so long. It's been like nearly... I guess it's been like nearly 7 or 8 years since that point. And I mean, it's just so weird to think back how awesome forums were, honestly. And a lot of people did forums, a lot of people I knew back in the day, they did the sports forums and all this stuff. It was just a way to basically blog without blogging and kind of create this community of people experiencing things together and everything. But I guess we moved on from that, really, and it's not really the biggest loss that House of Jigsaw isn't around anymore. If it still was, it'd be completely inundated with just people who'd been there from the beginning and not willing to actually give it up. I'm not even sure I would still be on there, but at the same time, I do remember those days pretty fondly, and I just wanted to ask you guys, like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you want to, like, what were your best memories? What was the best thing you ever talked about on there, if you remember it? I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this probably don't remember it as fondly or as well as they want to. I know it didn't have the best community reputation for the most part. There was a lot of people who were whining and not a lot of people who talked about it as maturely as some of us did. So, I mean, just share as you will. I feel like every forum has its problems, and this was just one of the things that was nice to have when I was growing up and, getting on my own and everything, that it kind of allowed me to find that there was a community who was like-minded like me. And one of the reasons I'm actually doing this stuff now and making these videos, because I know that community is still out there. If House of Jigsaw was anything to kind of gawk at, is that, the Saw community is still out there. It just hasn't been relevant for a long enough time. So hopefully if we just put more and more, once Lionsgate actually starts promoting Saw Legacy, maybe then like these videos will start picking up a little bit more and people will get really excited about it, want to hear like theories, speculation, talk to each other and everything, and we can make basically these videos the new House of Jigsaw type of situation where we're all just communicating via video and comment sections and Twitter and all that other stuff and social media, and we don't have a hub for it. But maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's not. Anyway, guys, tell me your thoughts, your opinions, your best stories that you remember in the comment section below, and I'll check you on the next Saw video. Bye.